Short and sweet. I just want to introduce people to you.
Right.
Awesome. Have you found your work yet?
Yes. Yes, I saw
Okay.
it.
It looks
It's
beautiful.
outside.
It's outside, overlooking the mountains.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Very nice.
Awesome. I'm glad you
Like
like
I
it,
was
man.
looking up.
Hey, Patrick, are you streaming? You are. Okay, beautiful. Well, let's start our stream and our conversations then. Welcome everybody to the NFT Oasis. My name is Jesse Nolan, otherwise known as Caught a Ghost. I'm a co-curator of this event. We're very excited to have artists from all over the globe here in this beautiful snowy mountaintop gallery. I'm going to amplify my voice here. Welcome, artists. Appreciate you being here. We're very excited. This is a really amazing group of artists, extraordinarily talented individuals from all over the globe. So we're going to keep the live stream short and sweet today, but we want to have a few conversations with some of our artists here. So let's stroll around and take a look a little bit. I'm going to be talking to Pietro Berto first. He could make his way up toward his work. In the meantime, let's just take a brief little stroll around the gallery if you want to roll with me, Patrick. So this is our beautiful snowy mountaintop gallery designed by Greg Edwards, our lead designer. We've got art hung up on all the walls. You can see the beautiful tree of life in the middle of the gallery, which you can see behind here, as well as 360-degree panoramic view of what I guess are the Himalayas or something. The beautiful thing about holding events in VR is that you can realize virtual spaces that would be totally impossible in real life. So this is one of the most exciting opportunities creatively that we have here, is to take artists whose work we admire and showcase them in environments that they would never be able to be showcased in the real world. So it's a beautiful thing. If you follow me over here, I'm going to hop over to Pietro's work across here. Pietro's an extremely talented 3D sculptor whose work looks incredibly photorealistic, as you can see. Blows my mind every time. Pietro, what's going on, man?
Hello,
Can we
man.
do
How
a?
are you?
I'm good, man. So you're coming in on a Mac, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we can't high five, but we're
No,
gonna.
I can't move my hands in here. I'm very sorry. I'm not being rude.
Okay, all good. Hey guys, just want to quickly introduce our CEO Will O'Brien over here. He's just popped in to say hello.
Nice to meet you.
And
Hello.
Patrick over here with the Mohawk is also on our team, and he's live streaming today.
Nice
All
to
right,
meet you,
Pietros.
Patrick.
Hello, everybody.
So,
Welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Pietros, so for those of you folks who don't know you, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? Where are you from?
I am originally from Italy, but I now live in Canada, Montreal. So I work in the VFX industry. So I am working on movies at the moment. But I also have a past experience in the video game industry, and that was a hell lot of fun. Matter of fact, like a big game I worked on is maybe
He was talking to me. I'm
will come out
back,
maybe this year,
back
I
in the
hope.
world,
So it's something
moving
exciting,
around again. Just got a
and maybe you'll get to know more soon.
people.
Wonderful. So this character right here, does he have a name?
He's Emmanuel, and yeah, he started as a likeness. He's a real guy. He's a model. He's actually in London, I think. He's living in London. And I discovered himself, like the real guy, on a magazine, like casually browsing fashion magazines in a library. So, and whenever I see anything that's like catches my eye, I just take pictures and fall in love with it. And
I love it. Now, you've done an incredible rendering here. I mean, like when I saw this image, I could not believe that I wasn't looking at a photograph. So your craftsmanship is like through the roof impressive to me. Has
Oh.
Manuel seen it? I'm curious.
Yeah, he has seen it, and I talked to him briefly on Instagram, and he was so pumped about it. And he shared it through his stories and stuff. He loved it. Yeah, and I was
I
so
love
happy. It's
that.
so rewarding when the real person get to like it. So yeah, you're always afraid of the real person discovering it because you never know if he might get pissed off if he doesn't like it. But
Sure,
yeah,
but
in this case, I was super happy.
I would have to imagine anybody would be extraordinarily flattered to see themselves rendered with such incredible skills. So that's really
Thank
really
you.
amazing, man. And so, what's
Thank you
next
very
for you?
much.
What are you working on now? What's on the horizon?
I am working, I mean, I do all of these pieces in my free time basically because my daily job is in movies nowadays. So my 9 to 6 job is working on VFX movies and characters. I do actors, digidoubles, and creatures. But in my free time, I try to push character art and likenesses as much as I can. So I'm working on a new one right now. I didn't show anything yet, but
Okay.
yeah, I hope I will finish it soon. But of course, these kind of projects, they take quite a lot of time, especially if you do it in your spare time, like
Sure.
mostly at night.
Yeah. Now, if
But
you were just to
yeah, I
sit
love it.
down, if you were just to sit down and work on one of these, like just start to finish, do you have an idea of the amount of hours it would take?
If I got to do it full time, maybe a month.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe
Just
a
like
month.
just
Yeah, because you
all
have
day,
to
every day.
nail the likeness first, and just the likeness itself is super hard to nail.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have to paint all of the textures and do the hair. The hair is another big part of this kind of projects.
Yeah.
And that alone, and like each craft may require its own software. You can also do all in one package, but yeah, you get the best options with different kind of software. So you have to put together many parts. But
Well,
yeah, it takes time, definitely.
I admire the dedication to your craft. You're really pushing the artwork forward. I think that modelers and sculptors all over the world would be extremely impressed. And can I ask, what is the combination of softwares you're using to achieve these results?
I'm using Maya as the main package, and of course the sculpting I do is all happening in ZBrush.
Wow.
And I render with Arnold, which comes free with Maya, so it's very convenient. And I also use Substance Painter to do the textures. And that's pretty much it for the main softwares. There may be other smaller ones for smaller tasks, but yeah, these are the main ones I use.
That's awesome. Well, for anybody who's watching the live stream out there in the real world, or or if you're in the metaverse or wherever you are, you can follow any of these artists. You can find information at nftoasis.co/artwalk, where we have their bios and information listed. For anybody who wants to follow you on Instagram, what's your Instagram, Pietro?
Oh, it's wrote right there, Andre Manuel, Pietro.berto 3D.
Look at that. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's see. We're gonna move on to our next artist. Let's see. Who was I going to speak with next? Arnaud,
Thank you very much, Jesse.
Thank you, Pietro. You're the man.
Thank you. It's an amazing
here.
opportunity, and it's so fun. Thank you very much.
Arnaud, did you want to have a chat?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Let's see. Your piece
So we go down?
Yeah, your piece is downstairs. If everybody wants to make their way downstairs, we'll see the downstairs gallery.
Someone else first? That is.
Well, actually, I
here,
think
maybe?
let's see. I think Melodemon, I believe that your piece is outside of on the first level. So let me pop out and see if I can locate it here.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, really nice.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So if everybody wants to come outside on the landing outside of the main gallery, we can take a look at Melodemon's work as well. Have a brief little chat. Awesome. I'm like, yeah, this is funny. I feel like I think he fell down. So he'll have to, I know. I know. I need yeah, I'm gonna enable my flight tool so I can fly around and people can see me. Um, just for anybody who's coming in on a VR headset, FYI, if you go onto your settings, there's a menu called items, and you can spawn a flight tool, which will enable you to fly around, which is cool. Anybody? Wait. So I'm just curious. Are anybody who's in a VR headset, raise your hand. Let me see. Okay, so see a couple folks. Hey. Oh, it's not. Uh, okay, gotcha. So if anybody, just FYI, if you're on a Mac or if you're stuck anywhere, an important thing to know is the F key will help teleport you to the next next place. I've had that happen several times where I'm trying to navigate and you get stuck. All right, so if you follow me over this way, we can have a chat with Mellow Demon. There he is.
I made it.
My man.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Thank
so
you. Good lighting
let's.
outside here.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So step forward a little bit, Patrick, who is streaming behind you. We'll want to see you on camera here.
Okay, I'll go. I need like, how do you strafe? I gotta like figure out how to strafe.
Yeah, just come toward me.
Okay, I'm coming.
All right, everybody. So this is Mellow Demon, another one of our artists. So for those folks who don't know you at home, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, well, I am was first aware of my presence in San Diego, California.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Okay.
And is that where you live now?
I currently am in Los Angeles.
You're in Los Angeles now. Beautiful. And living in what, Silver Lake area or?
More in the Atwater Village area, if you're familiar.
Oh right, yeah, of course. I'm a Los Angeles native myself, so I've been in every part of Los Angeles. And so, tell us about the piece that we're looking at here. What originated was the inspiration for it?
Right. Is there a way to like view the title if I like click on it, or how does that work?
Not yet. We're working on that functionality yet, but
okay, cool. Well, in that case, I guess I can give you the title if that's all right.
Yes, please.
The title of this frame is excuse me, I'm about to get a sinus surgery, not COVID fortunately, so that's good, but just a little congested. But this one is entitled No One Is Better. It is actually most of what I've been doing in the artistic efforts that I've been doing have been these hand-drawn, very labor-intensive animations, and this is actually one frame from that. From a larger piece. And at some point, I'd love to show it to you in its animated form as well. But my goal in my animated art, which I hope differentiates it from some stuff at least, is that I approach it where each frame I try to make stand alone as what someone would consider art, as an art object on its own, and not just be like a transitioning element.
Sure. Wow. That's impressive that you're doing hand-drawn animation, because we've got so many tools these days that make animation automated, but there is something really special about the traditional frame by frame approach. And so what does that as a form mean to you in terms to engage with work in that way?
Well, how well articulated. Let's see. Excuse me. I'm just gonna edit around the thumb. Yeah, that's great. That's a really great question. What is the form of animation mean to me? In the hand-drawn aspect is what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly.
So the hand-drawn aspect is, I mean, the whole thing, this is part of actually a multimedia project. Mellow Demon is makes music and art, sculptures, animation, everything around me. It's a DIY vision I have, where everything I see and touch is created by me, for better or worse, and for this specific purpose of Mellow Demon's well-being. And this is all in the sort of a guiding principle of this identity is that I don't think in advance. It is only in the moment. All of it with the music, words, visual art aspects, etc. Is no premeditation is allowed for any of it.
Wow.
So these are all. So each of these moments of drawing these frames are a moment that happens. I do it, and then I draw another image, and then I draw another image, and I draw another image. And so what it means to me, on one level, is it is the most accurate depiction of my life experience that I'm capable of presenting at this time.
Wow, I love that. I love that. What if we could all, be able to just live moment to moment? It's a recipe.
That's what I do. That's literally what I do, and there are significant consequences. Be advised, but it is working out great as well.
Sure. Everything in life, could require a little bit of planning ahead, but I think
that is actually you're sorry not to flatter you too much, but you're really digging into some good shit here, man. This that is very much at the heart of what I'm working on next. Like this is all like survival art, not the coin a term because that sounds dumb, but you know what I'm saying. This is to help me survive in this world, and so this helps me from a moment to moment be more healthy, and then also reflect my experience in a way that I can try to communicate to nice people like you.
I love that, man. I love what you're saying. It definitely connects. And one of the beautiful things about art is like not only that you're able to connect with other human beings by creating images and sounds, etc., that connect with them, but also the fact that art as a process itself is something that's healing to the artist. So I really appreciate what you're saying. Now this image that we're looking behind us, is there a specific?
Speaking of healing, yes, take a look. It all relates.
It looks like a guy who maybe does he have leeches on him?
Yeah, it's a little more clear in the animated version, which you can see if you go to my not as an advertisement intended, but if you go to my YouTube channel, if anyone wants to visit it, it's just you can find it through melodemon.com. Is a place where all these elements come together in the form of videos, where you'll get the music, the words, and the extended art in its sort of initially intended form for this one. And so this one is from a greater piece called Mistaken Patterns, which is kind of like a chapter of my story, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And wow, so beautiful. You can hear my voice, right? And once again, the title is No One Is Better. So everything works on a multitude of potential meanings. As you can see, I'm not that much better right now. But it's not COVID.
Hey, man. Well, I love it. For those at home, Hello Demons, the artist, please seek him out. Is there any other places like Instagram, or where do you prefer people find you?
Yeah, please. I've just started really using Instagram a lot as a way to show sort of my daily art efforts, and so please befriend me there. I'm most active there, but also on YouTube is where it all comes together, and then everything else I'll eventually respond to.
I love it.
I'll try to be better about that.
Melodemon, everybody. Let's see. Cosmic Damage, Roberto, you wanna have a brief conversation, man?
Oh, what did I break?
Sure, I think we can. Are you an avatar? Are you with us? Okay, he's with us. He speaks. Your piece is right behind us, so let's go by order of proximity here. All right, so Roberto is an artist that goes by the name Cosmic Damage. Really awesome. This piece is, in large format, which is one of my favorite things about showing work in virtual reality, is that you can blow it up to be the size of a building if you want. And there's really nothing in the real world that can parallel that experience. If you come in a headset, which I highly suggest at some point, you can turn on your flight tool and then, fly up next to the piece of work, which is wonderful. So Roberto, tell us a little bit about yourself for those people who aren't aware of you here. Patrick, maybe if you want to stand over here, and Roberto you can come over here and stand in front of your piece with us.
Sure. Yeah, I am actually like a digital artist from Italy originally. I live in the Netherlands at the moment.
Wonderful.
Art is something that I do actually in my spare time because, yeah, by the day I go as an architect. And somehow this is kind of like uh, reversing lately. That is a good thing, I think, because I am getting more commissions towards the art related skills that I have, and less towards the architecture. That actually makes me quite happy.
So art
And
is your
yeah,
visual
this
arts
is
is
actually
your
like,
first love.
sorry.
So illustration and is your first love.
Yes, definitely. Like even like while like practicing as an architect, I'm actually more keen towards like visualizations and let's say more 3D world than illustration itself. But yeah, I space and I investigate everything I can when I can.
Well, this piece is super beautiful and amazing. I love it. I've done a bit of 3D work myself, but when I see somebody who's as accomplished as yourself with your technique, I'm always really impressed and curious about your process. What software are you using? Are you using Cinema 4D or Blender, or what's your workflow?
Mostly Blender.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, like as my first love, I would say. I kind of I would say like went randomly through like a lot of pieces of software along my career, but Blender is the one that I stick to. So yeah, and this one was rendered in Octane.
Got it.
Um, yeah.
And so tell us about, the inspiration when you're putting a piece together. What do you think about?
Well, it really depends a little bit. I kind of like always start from my biggest passions. I think like mostly sci-fi and environment art has always been like a sort of passion of mine. So it's kind of the first step is always like I know that I want to go big and not so much making detailed pieces, but rather like extensive environments. And I have to say that most of the time I don't follow necessarily a sketch or like a vision that I have in mind, but I go with the flow, and it's a little bit my zone. So usually when I stop working, I start doing something and I see what comes up. And sometimes something comes out, sometimes not. But yeah, I have to say that I kind of go a little bit where uh, the software and the intuition is leading me most of the time.
Yeah, I can completely identify. I think that sometimes particularly when you're modeling, but whatever creative process you're in, sometimes you grab one idea and you use it as a stepping stone to the next one. Like you observe it once you've created it, and it sparks inspiration for another idea. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, I can
Beautiful.
totally relate to what you just said. Because yeah, really like it's funny how it becomes a sort of flow, and
Hmm.
it's a natural thing to go from step A to step B and to step C until like you are satisfied, and sometimes like you don't, but it depends.
Yeah, I get that. So when you're making a piece like this, I love the jellyfish. I'm very fond of pieces where, nature is encroaching upon human environments and likewise. And this is beautiful because you've got this surreal aspect where it's familiar enough with aspects of the world that we know, but it's so surreal and pushes, reality well beyond anything you would ever be able to see. It feels like you're, interloping on some beautiful alien landscape. um, are these jellyfish are these 3D models as well that you've just kind of replicated instances of?
Yes, yes. It's actually I tried at first as a particle system, then it got everything a little bit too uh, I would say like slow, and then like I decided to place them by hand, and at the end of the day, I think like I always prefer to place things around by hand and not use automated systems to populate the scenes. So yeah, even the rocks, like the big rock in the background, is actually a displacement map, and the ones in the foreground are all like 3D scans that I just place it around to frame the view.
Very cool. Well, you're certainly extraordinarily talented, and we hope that you continue to get more commissions for your 3D work, because you're very talented, and the world needs to see more of your work. For those on the live stream, do you want to tell folks where they can find you on Instagram or?
Yeah, definitely Instagram is my main channel, and yeah, under Cosmic Damage you can always hit me up. I am more than happy to actually talk with everybody when I have time, and yeah, Cosmic
Beautiful.
Damage on Instagram.
Awesome. Cosmic Damage, everybody. Let's give them a round of applause. I don't know if you guys have located your emojis yet, but you can give hearts, claps, raise your hand, cheeky faces, etc. Hey, look at that! Woo! Making people feel something. All right. Let's see where to next. I think let's go downstairs and we can talk to some of our artists who are downstairs. Is this the ramp right here? Yep. You follow me down this way. Another fun thing to do, by the way, is that you can just fall off of the top level down here, which I like to do sometimes as well. When you're in a headset, it feels particularly interesting. Let's see. So if we want to head, is Arnaud around here? Let's see. We got,
No, I'm not. Good. Can you hear me?
Where is your other one?
Hey, let's go talk to Arnaud.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. All right. So, if you want to come a little closer this way, Arnaud, then we'll be able to see you on the or see your avatar anyway on the live stream. So, for those of you who are not familiar with your work, you want to introduce yourself to the public here?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everybody. Here Arno from Switzerland, and usually I started making more architecture visualization, and I did work a bit in different places in Europe for these things, but I like to do myself personal work and a bit more sci-fi things, mostly with Blender and different kind of kit bashing stuff and these kind of things.
I love this piece we're looking at right here. It's the scale of it makes you feel really small. I love how it's blown up on the side of our gallery here with the water dripping behind it. It's super beautiful. What inspired this piece?
Actually, I'm a big fan of Simon Stalenhag, which is a painter, sci-fi painter, for the ones who don't know him. And yeah, he's really like making a interesting mix, I would say, between nature and science fiction. In the way they are not completely opposites, because we see a lot of destruction with like technologies and things like this, and I feel this is a bit different take on this kind of subject. Yeah, a bit more peaceful somehow.
I love it. It really is. There's kind of an interesting mood to this piece. It feels ominous and comforting at the same time because the woods are so imposing that you have this like warmth from this like pink light from the spaceship that kind of makes you feel like a campfire or something.
Yeah. The it was a bit like I initially went working in Netherlands for architecture, and at some point I had to come back to Switzerland, and this was a bit like I called this piece Roots because it was a bit like kind of return to the sources, if I can say, like to my Swiss environments and hills and this kind of things. So yeah, but thanks a lot for your nice words.
Yeah, of course. We're so thrilled to have such an amazing cast of artists from all around the world. Everybody, let's give a round of applause. Love it. So Arnaud, where can folks find you on Instagram or whatever platform you prefer?
Yeah, I'm having a ArtStation portfolio
Mm-hmm.
that I use mostly as a main platform, but I will re-update a bit my Instagram soon.
Awesome. Okay,
So
so
both.
um, and okay, so how do you say your last name? Imilbersteg, is that right? I'm sorry for my
Yeah,
pronunciation.
it's
Okay.
it's German in Obersteg, but yeah.
Awesome. So you can find Arnaud's bio on the nftoasis.co/artwalk if you want to find him as well, and seek him down on ArtStation and Instagram. But yeah, thanks so much for being with us, Arnaud. You're extraordinarily talented.
Thanks a lot for the invitation.
Yeah. uh, awesome. Chris, sweetheart, you wanna have a chat, or you have you gotten your? I think your mic is on mute.
I think I unmuted it. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Looks like your piece is over here behind us. If you wanna, everyone's follow this way.
Yeah.
Patrick, is that a good? You have a good view of the whole piece, Patrick?
Oh, I love this piece.
Awesome. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Really great. So, Chris, tell us about yourself. This I saw that you posted this on our Instagram, and we got such great reaction. I think it's such a magnetic composition. Where are you from? What should we know about you?
I'm actually from the United States. I've done art pretty much my whole life. Uh, when I started art, it was mostly like traditional pieces. And then I started working into more of the digital art because my grandfather had me on a computer since I was really young. So it just kind of made sense to blend them together and start doing art like this. So it's kind of a mixture of photographs, digital painting, and then this one I actually worked with a friend of mine and he did the 3D elements that were added in as well. So it's a collaboration.
Very cool. And what's your friend's name?
Zon.
Don. Love it. So when you sit down to do a piece like this, what's the process? Are you going layer by layer? Do you have a vision of it ahead of time, or are you kind of more going with the flow?
Sometimes I envision the piece that I'm going to work on. I think about what I want to create. Sometimes I just try to find a stock that fits for it. If I find the right stock that kind of just speaks to me, I use that. But yeah, it's kind of like manipulation of layers, color edits, I also use textures and blended in. Like her collar is actually fractal textures, and it kind of made it look kind of like a rose. So it's a mixture of things. She's supposed to be the mother of dreams, the inspiration, the creator of, you know, your hopes and future. And a lot of times before I go to sleep, I think of ideas to be creative. So she's kind of that being in a way.
I love it. It's so I feel like I could look at this piece all day. It just gives me such a inspired feeling, and it's cool because to hear you articulate it that way, because I was drawn to it, but I didn't, have a sense of like what the meaning behind it was. I just was noticed the aesthetics right away. But I love what you're saying, that there's kind of like a mythology behind the piece. Makes a lot of sense now that I'm looking at it.
Thank you. I did kind of serious for this piece. There's also the Child of Dreams, and she's like I guess you could say like the Sandman. She's the one that helps you sleep, and this is the one that helps you be inspired. So
it really does feel that way, and it's cool. You have such a kind of unique and fascinating iconography going on here that I think is I mean, under the larger rubric of like surrealism, there's so many different styles and ways to make realities hyperreal or surreal, and what I love is that I don't feel that I've seen this before. It really manages to be both extremely aesthetically pleasing but also kind of new feeling. So I think that's wonderful that you've kind of found your own style.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Like I said, art's always been a part of my life, and I kind of draw inspiration from some other artists, but also it's mostly kind of my envisions, my daydreams, and sometimes I relate it, of course, to my past experiences and life experiences, and I just kind of make these women just icons, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful. Now, do you have is this been NFT'd, or are you selling NFTs?
Yes, this is an NFT and it is for sale.
Awesome. And where can people find it?
Known origin right now.
Known origin. Beautiful. Awesome. What about your socials? Where else would you like to direct people?
You can find me on Instagram as Cheese Sweet Art, and also Twitter as Cheese Sweet Art. It's the same handle on both. So I'm mostly on Twitter. So yeah.
Awesome.
What was that Instagram again? Jesse, I just want to say I love this piece. When I saw this in the promotion for today, my comment was this could be a whole world unto itself. I just think this is so much complexity, and as somebody who lucid dreams all the time, I feel like it's very familiar. This kind of feels like the person who invites you into a lucid dream. I love it. I just think your art's fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Radical. Cheese Sweet Art, everybody. Give her a round of applause.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Let's see. So, who else are there any artists who'd like to tell us a little bit more about their work? Feel free to come grab me, and we can continue the conversations. Otherwise, we can just kind of stroll around.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Kaje.
Yes, that's me.
Awesome,
Hey,
man. Welcome. Hey, welcome. You want to show us your work?
I would love to. Do you have my voice okay? Sorry if it's a bit windy here and my connection is not the best, but I'll do my best.
It's cool. It just fits in with the snowy mountaintop vibe. It's windy outside. It's windy in here. It's all good.
Sounds fairly similar to here.
Yes. So let's see. Where is your piece? Is it upstairs?
No, I think it's just down here, right across the.
Okay.
Right here, actually.
Here it is. Got it. It was obstructed by our columns here. All right, so we'll wait for Patrick to get over here so he can get a view of the full piece for the folks back home. All right, Ajay, so tell folks back home about a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What medium do you work in, etc.?
All right. Yeah. So I'm coming from actually animation background, to be honest. So I've been illustrating and animating for ages, but at some point learning framing and um, making a nice layout of my shot, I got into photography, picked up my first camera and started shooting about 10 years ago, and got really enthusiastic with photography since um, it's just I think art is a tool for an artist to just sort of express yourself, and photography has been one of those great tools that sort of became actually camera became a part of my body literally. So, and this photo, this was a very long trail we did, a hike we did up Acatenango Mountain in Guatemala. And this volcano that we're looking at in this photo is Volcan de Fuego, so the volcano of fire, and it's active. It's still active. The last time it erupted, it was 2018. A lot of people actually died, and so I visited little towns and villages right beneath this place, and it's just devastating to see how nature can just take a turn, and how scary and how uh, forceful the nature could be. Slipping up here was just it just recapped up here, and sleeping up here was a whole another world. Just waking up every about 10 minutes or less to the sound of like this micro little eruptions, and yeah, it was one of a kind experiences. I took this photo. I think it was like 3 a.m. or something. We were getting ready to summit the 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 mountain we were on for the sunrise, and there was about an hour more walk at like 44,500 feet kind of a thing. So it was pretty high up, and yeah,
Wow,
and I took this photo right then. And a bunch of these
that's
photos actually.
that's incredible. So, such a fascinating thing. We live in this world now where you can duplicate photorealistic images and do 3D model and create environments. So it doesn't even necessarily impact you immediately to realize that something is an actual real photograph. And so looking at your work here and seeing the story and hearing the story behind it just puts me right into your experience. And it really is such an extraordinary thing to imagine for me that you saw this in real life. you know, it's
Thank you.
so
It was the same
beautiful.
for me too. It was just unbelievable. Seeing it and hearing it at the same time, and just being 2 kilometers away from the tip, it was just amazing.
And the composition here is really beautiful as well. I love the way that you've captured the environment, and the stars look extraordinary too. Do you want to tell us a little bit about just like your just capturing this photograph, and have you done any post processing and all that?
Absolutely. So one of my passion in photography always been long exposure photography. I do a lot of light paintings actually. A lot of my light paintings photo was featured by Instagram page, their actual page.
Hmm.
So I was always into shooting skies and stars. And I was very lucky that night to have a moonless night. So the moon set was much earlier in the evening, and it was a pitch black night. Usually, uh, people end up with a lot of cloud out here, but I was lucky enough not to have cloud. And when I think it was around like 10, 11, when it was dark enough to shoot, the Milky Way wasn't really lining up. I couldn't the whole thing. So I think it was just like really by luck when we woke up to summit the mountain. I just look outside and I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna, if I miss this, I'm never seeing this again. You know, this lineup right on the mountain, and it was just amazing. Pretty much that's all I did, and the rest of it, it was just, you know, Photoshop and Lightroom, getting the light out, and you know, some dodging and burning and things like that to just bring the detail and information. But that's pretty much it.
I love that. So, you know, what you're saying about finding the right moment, that's such a integral part of photography, is that, you know, we're all living these lifetimes with, you know, infinite moments in every direction, and just being able to capture this special intersection of events through your specific point of view. Like nobody else in the world was where you were at this moment, that this moment happened. um, it's really special that we all get to take the opportunity to stop for a second and put ourselves in your experience, and admire the way that you've really beautifully captured and rendered this picture here. So thank you, man. It's really beautiful.
Very much appreciate your kind words, man. Really much appreciate
Awesome.
it. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Is this available as an NFT?
It is. It's currently on Foundation. Listed on Foundation.
Very cool. All right. So anybody who wants to go collect this, Tajay on Foundation. And then is there any other socials or anywhere that you want to direct folks to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm most active on Instagram, so you can find me by my name, Kajay, K-A-H, and also, you know, NFT and how to.
Beautiful.
It's very important. I got into Twitter very recently, so I would love to have some love. Kajay M, and that would be my Twitter hat.
Very cool. And then, you know, by the way, one of our, you know, fondest intentions here in holding these events is to connect artists with each other as well. So make sure that you guys are following each other on Instagram, adding each other on Altspace. This gallery will remain open after today's event, just so you guys know. You're welcome to come in here with potential collectors and friends, show your work, hold events, whatever you like. Our goal here is to foster community. I know that being an artist, as somebody who's spent, you know, thousands and thousands of hours behind a computer alone myself, can be a little bit lonely. And I think that community is, you know, really important. So, you know, it would be wonderful to hear that artists are meeting here, and maybe potential collaborations will come out of this. Who knows? So yeah, make sure that you guys are remaining in touch with each other. And thank you guys so much for coming. Is there any other artists who wants to talk about their work while we're here today? Otherwise, we can kind of just stroll around.
Me. Okay.
Sam? Awesome.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I am Sam. Wait a minute. Let me find my piece. Oh, it's right here.
Where'd we go?
Let's follow Sam.
Awesome. Awesome, Sam. So let's wait for Patrick, who's running the stream, to get over here so the people at home can see your work here. This is awesome. I love this piece. It's so cool. You have such a distinctive style. So for people who aren't familiar with you, Sam, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Sam. I'm a small 3D artist. I live in Vietnam. I am Vietnamese. So this piece right here is the first piece in my environment collection, isometric art. The purpose I made this is since the COVID hits our country, we can no longer go traveling around the world. So I think it's cool to make something like a tropical islands. It is summer in my country. It's so hot. I want to go to the beach. So I really decided to make this piece just to satisfy myself and remind that we have a beautiful planet. That's all.
That's amazing. I love Sam. And by the way, if anybody wants to find Sam on Instagram, it's ji.riwu. So his full name is Sam Vu, and ji.riwu is where you can find his work. Um, I think that this is so cool because it gives you a perfect like cross section, of this environment. And it reminds me of when I would see illustrations of cross sections as a child, and of ships and other diagrams for architecture and stuff. But you've made this cross section of a whole little world, which provides the ability for it to feel so intimate. And I think the texturing is so beautiful. It's like playful and fun, but yet feels sophisticated as well.
Thank
You
you.
want to talk about, and I love what you're saying about wanting to give people a way to travel to alternate spaces during COVID. It was, I say, everybody spent so much time inside. Um, what else were you thinking about when you created this? Like, what's the process? Or what software are you making this in?
Also, I first modeling on the stuff in Cinema 4D. I use some of the plugin like the Forester, and I use Arnon to render.
I love it. So Cinema 4D primarily.
Yes, it's so easy to use, so I decided to learn Cinema 4D and making my stuff like this.
Yeah. And are you sculpting all of these individual objects and then importing them into their place, like the skeleton and everything?
Yes, some of them I use from my old project, and some of them I go to for example the bone I download it from the internet.
Got it. That's one of the cool things about being a 3D sculptor is I love how there's this kind of like open source community where people will build 3D assets and share them on various sites, and then artists can
Yes.
kind of repurpose them and find new contexts for them. Um, it's such a it really creates this ability for people to set their creativity free. One of my favorite things about this is the texturing on the water. It reminds me of Jello for some reason. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. It's,
You've got
when I
physical.
when I look at
Go
this
ahead.
piece, it's like looking into a snack or a dessert. It looks
Yeah,
like food.
yeah, I love that. You've basically created, you've um, created a new art form that's a hybrid of food photography and landscape photography. Really cool. Really, really love it. Um, okay, well, great. So, is this available as an NFT? Can people purchase your work?
Oh yes, this is available on the NFT, but this piece is already bought by someone else.
Okay, so this has been
Yeah,
purchased already,
and I
but
sold them from. Oh, you go ahead.
oh yeah, but you have other works that are available.
Currently, all of my works are not available. I saw all of them.
Oh wow, okay. So we're just gonna have to either just find something on the private market, or people will have to keep to follow you on socials and stay aware of what you're doing so they can snap up your next piece before somebody else does.
I use Instagram and Twitter. Twitter.
Awesome. All right, so follow Sambu on Instagram, folks. Extraordinarily talented, love it. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Was there anybody else?
I think Mark.
Oh, just Mark? Oh yeah, right. Oh, Mark, awesome. Your stuff is upstairs, correct?
There are two actually. One is upstairs, and the most recent one is behind us. Actually.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, yeah, why don't you lead us on over there?
All right.
Vote. An audio
All right, let's wait till Patrick is able to get in view where he can see the whole piece. And then let's see. All right, so Mark, forgive me, your last name is pronounced Jan or Jan?
Jan, that's my middle name.
Yeah,
actually.
Mark Jan, awesome.
Mark Jan.
So Mark Jan, extraordinarily talented artist. Do you want to tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself, where you're from, etc.?
Absolutely, yeah. First and foremost,
Here, Patrick,
thank you so much for inviting me as well to this awesome event. It's awesome to connect with so many amazing artists. So thank you for that.
Thank you for being here. Let's really quickly, let's hear it. Patrick, if you want to scooch back to where you can see the full thing, and then we'll come stand by you so that everyone at home can hear. Awesome. Better? Okay. Great. All right, go ahead.
All right. I'm originally from Germany, but I'm currently living in Stockholm, Sweden, and I've been in the VFX industry for a couple of years, mostly working as a lighting artist, sometimes as a 3D generalist, but mostly lighting, look dev, on a number of projects ranging from video game cinematics, trailers, TV advertisements to some extent as well. Yeah.
I love it. And this piece was what program are you working in? Is this?
For most of my pieces at the moment, I'm working in Maya and texturing in Substance Painter, and I do sculpt sometimes in ZBrush as well, and rendering for the most part in Arnold as well in Maya, and then post-processing, Photoshop, Lightroom sometimes. A number of.
I love it. It's interesting how the workflow can have so many layers. You know, you kind of get familiar with all these different softwares, and you got to bounce things around.
Absolutely right. I mean, there's so much to learn out there, and so many amazing pieces of software that you can just create worlds with. So it's truly amazing.
It really is a wonderful time to be alive. You know, like I think it's very easy to become cynical or just disenfranchised with technology in general because of things like, you know, the way that social media creates, you know, mental illness and social division. But the fact is that technology over the last 20 years has enabled artists to create things beyond their wildest dreams, you know, and it's really extraordinary that we've got this collection of artists here today who are all working in interfacing with technology in these different ways, and that we're in this environment which allows us all to be together, even though we're all in different places all over the world. So I'm curious, Mark, what, you know, when you're working, what inspires you? What do you think about? What is your mental process?
Goodness, that's a really good question. This in particular is a part of my May Everyday Challenge that I decided on doing sometime towards the end of April. I've been in a pretty big slump where I was either just procrastinating or just flat out lazy for a very, very long time, and I couldn't get the project from start to finish and then publish it. And I got angry in April, and I thought, no, to heck with it. I'm just gonna do something every day, and this is part of that. That's been an amazing challenge to do as well. But behind that, usually, I have to be honest, for this particular piece, I'm not sure what was going through my head. It just came out like that.
That's fine.
I found inspiration by looking just online. I saw a picture of a skull, and I thought, well, why not do something with it? And most recently, I've been experimenting more with glitch art, for example. And I thought to myself, maybe make it like a steel skull, which is kind of infused with something digital, just like we're stuck, for example, whether it be the pandemic or as artists are stuck in front of the screen for such long hours, and then kind of try to symbolize it in that particular way, that we have so many thoughts in our heads that sometimes, you know, we're overthinking, we're all processing, or like in my case, most recently, never being able to start something or finish it. That was even worse. And
so this guy's kind of like the demon of procrastination, almost.
Kind of, yeah. I think that would summarize it quite well. Yeah.
I love that. So, well, I'm curious. Are you able to turn up your amplify your volume? Is that
Is that
I
better
think this
now?
is something. Yeah, I mean, I can hear you. We just got a request from the audience for people to be able to hear you better. It's something that where this is literally just so everyone is aware. This is only our second one of these events that we're doing, so we're very much working out the kinks. And but it's great, and we're going to be back here every Saturday at noon with new artists every time, and we'll continue to invite artists back for the intention of building this community and continuing to give artists a place to show their work. So, Mark, I
Awesome
love what you're
stuff.
saying about procrastination because that's something that I'm sure artists can all relate to. And it makes me think
Yeah.
about how fascinating it is that we're looking at each one of these pieces and you're immediately first just confronted with the aesthetic, right? Like you, as a viewer, you kind of like it gives you an emotional reaction. And not every piece has to like mean something. Everybody can draw their own conclusions from things, but you putting it as in the terms you did about your struggle with procrastination really resonated with me because we're all human beings, and that's the thing that we kind of forget is like every artist is extremely dedicated to their work, and it's really an emotional process every day to get up and get to work. So
Yes.
that's inspiring, and the fact that you're doing every days and taking advantage of that and just confronting that as a part of your process is inspiring to me. So thanks for sharing
Thank you.
your work with
Thank
us.
you. Absolutely, it's my pleasure. And this one is not available as an NFT, but if anybody wants to check out, I have currently 22 pieces minted on
Very cool.
on Rarible. So if anybody is interested in taking a look, that'll be awesome.
Awesome. So Mark Jan on Rarible, that's where you want to find his work if you want to collect, guys. And then what about socials? What's the best way for people to find you?
I would say Instagram, definitely, and it's under the piece in the left corner there as well. Instagram.com Markjan Digital.
Beautiful. There it is, y'all. All right, cool. Is there anybody else who wanted to talk about their work today? I think that might be drawing to a close. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for being here. It's so great and special for me to be able to connect with all these artists whose work I admire. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to meet each other, stay connected, and we'll be seeing you guys back here every Saturday at noon. And we at NFT Oasis are trying to build the bridge to the metaverse for for the normies out there who maybe are scared of doing VR or scared of getting involved with NFTs. So our mission here is to help evangelize the technology and help create better tools for artists to earn a living and to find community. So thank you guys for being a part of this, and always feel free to get in contact with us if you have ideas for special exhibitions or other collaborations and ideas that you want to put together. So thank you. Let's all have a round of applause for all of our artists today. And as always, you guys can find us on socials, NFT Oasis everywhere, as well as nftoasis.co.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So
Thanks,
much.
Chris.
Awesome stuff.
Thanks
you, everybody.
I'll do music as well as
See you
art
soon.
sometimes. I think I saw something.
Yes, in fact, we do. So we've started with digital art because the NFT movement was very focused around digital art to begin with, because digital artists were so underpaid for a long time. The NFTs, obviously proposed this opportunity for them to recapture value, which is amazing. But I think there's also a burgeoning movement for music and NFTs and music and VR as well. So we are at the intersection of all that. I'm a musician by trade, so I'm collaborating with our lead designer, Greg Edwards, to put together all kinds of music experiences. We've had some mixed reality concerts already. Imogen Heap, who's an advisor of the company, did a performance, which was beautiful. And we're also continuing to develop new ways for VR performing to be a little more accessible to independent artists. So we're pioneering new experiences for mixed reality, and we're also totally open to collaboration in that respect. So if any artists, particularly animators, want to connect with us and build out a VR like skin for music performances, we welcome that kind of collaboration as well. So feel free to get in touch with us, and we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff coming down the line. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and all that. Stay in the loop. Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next week. Feel free to stroll around.